Welcome to the Cougar Cast here at the Kokomo Post Sports. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, and this is a place to get all the information on what's going on inside the athletic department at IU Kokomo. And joining us once again, it's my guy, Grant Patterson. He's one of the two assistant ADs at IUK. And Grant, there's been a lot of good stuff going on right now at IUK.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff, Jay, and to the point that my brain is pretty fried and pretty racked, and it feels like there's not much up there. It feels desolate up there, but man, it is awesome covering the large number of successes that we've seen, not just recently, but throughout this entire 2024-2025 school year. It has been an awesome first year for me full-time covering everything that we've done. I mean, just our second national champion, I'm very grateful that I was able to cover that in my first year of full-time work as well. But man, recently the Cougs have been on fire.
They have been on fire. Speaking of being on fire, that baseball team has been rolling. They just picked up a sweep over Midway. They picked up another win last Tuesday, a week ago Tuesday now, against Georgetown College. They picked up a win, I believe was this week on Tuesday, down in Indianapolis against Marion. They are rolling. Had a tough start at the beginning of the season, like we mentioned. But once they got into conference play, and even some of the non-conference games of late, they've been finding ways to win. Yeah,
the Cougs have been really finding their rhythm both at the plate and on the mound. And that's been a great sight to see. Interim head coach Jeremy Honecker, pitching coach Justin Reed, and assistant coach Luke Barnes have all seemed to find their stride with this Cougar squad. And it's been a lot of fun to watch recently. And, man, this city of Kokomo doesn't know what they're in for because they've got two great weekends of IU Kokomo baseball coming up at Kokomo Municipal Stadium. And that's just this weekend and next weekend. And then we're about out, Jay.
Yeah.
Those are our final two conference series of the year, and then we have one more doubleheader on the 25th of April. But besides that, you're running out of opportunities. I think we're down to just 8 games, maybe a midweek sprinkled in there, but I'm pretty sure just 8 home games left. But as you said it, 6 straight conference wins for this squad. Just remarkable. 7 of their last 8 have been wins. You mentioned the non-conference win over Georgetown. That was a run rule victory over a Mid-South squad that, yes, they're down this year, but is normally really good. That Tiger team is well coached typically. And then this week against Marion. First time ever playing Marion, an opponent that's within 60 miles. That's a little weird, but Marion's a Crossroads League opponent, well respected across the entire NAI. Anytime you get a chance to battle them, you need to take it seriously, and the Cougs did just that. Fell behind. We took the lead early, 1-0 in the first, but fell behind after that, I think 5-1, and then just dominated from there. 9-5 victory. 6 different Cougars saw action on the mound in that game. Plenty of different guys stepped up to the plate with big ABs, whether it was taking a hit by pitch, drawing a walk, getting on base, however it was possible. So really impressive effort to watch. Made the trip down there. That was good to see in person, but they're not the only program that's hot. But they're one of the few programs that is still competing at home this year.
So when it comes to the conference tournament, looking ahead for baseball, is that all in one location for them?
Yep, unlike last year, we kind of got away from that last year where the opening series was on a campus site, and that determined the seeding for the conference tournament. So it was considered postseason. Well, this year, just the top 6 teams make it to the River States Conference Tournament. It's held at VA Memorial Stadium in Chillicothe, Ohio, as always. They're a gracious host. But, yeah, 6 teams this year. We're currently sitting in 4th. I mean, just a second ago, we were 1-7, 2 weekends ago. Rattle off 6 straight wins, a sweep of West Virginia Tech, and then you go on the road and pretty much dominate a Midway squad that was at the top of the league standings prior to us coming to town. And now you have 2 winnable series with IU Columbus and Brescia coming to Kokomo Municipal Stadium, a place that we've been successful as of late. And man, we're about to get some key pieces back, a key piece or two, and this team is really just finding their stride at the right time.
Yes, they are. Speaking of people finding the right stride, let's go to track and field where there's a lot of runners and walkers finding their stride. There are numerous. We didn't mix it up with baseball, with a couple with track and field. Yeah. I believe there were a couple of baseball players that won RSC awards. There were a couple of track and field athletes that won River State Conference awards as well. I forget the location of the track and field meet, but I know that there are multiple athletes that did big things there.
Yeah, track and field, both baseball and track and field enjoyed a very successful week. We'd been a little bit of a drought with IU Kokomo Players of the Week for the River States Conference, that is. But we hit off in a big way last week with 3 conference players of the week. Jacob Medvesic, baseball player of the week. Brett Huner, baseball pitcher of the week. Sydney Duncan is women's outdoor field athlete of the week. Just impressive all-around individual efforts from each of the 3 of them. Medvesic had double-digit hits. I believe he was 11 for 19 on the week. Huner threw a 7-inning, one-run ball. 7 innings of one-run ball. Just an absolute gem in the series opener, and he's turned in 2 straight gems in the first game of the consecutive River States Conference Series, and I don't think it's coincidental that that's also been 2 consecutive sweeps for the Cougars. Getting off on the right foot on the mound is a big deal. Yeah, and then on the track and field, it seems like, yes, it's the same Cougars that qualified for indoor nationals, but we're also seeing success from a plethora of other Cougars, whether it be in field events or track events. But yeah, Sydney Duncan had an impressive week at the Cedarville Yellow Jacket Collegiate Open. She continued her reign, as we mentioned, in the indoor national scene. First place in the nation currently by 2.51 meters, I believe, and then she won the event by almost 2 meters. I don't believe there were many other NAIA universities there either, so she's doing this against mostly Division II and Division III competition. Just uber impressive to watch. It doesn't matter. I think she finished the indoor season as a whole collegiately, D1, D2, and D3 included, top 20 in the nation in women's shot put. So just awesome that we have an athlete of that caliber at this level. But the men's side, they also experienced some successes as well. Tanner Gibson and Gabe Wedmore each set school records, and each are honestly right on the cusp of qualifying for their respective events for outdoor nationals by hitting an A or B standard. I know Evan Gaylor is one of those as well. I just heard from assistant coach Jordan Fivecoat today that Evan is right there on the cusp. So I think we could be seeing quite a few more. Sydney's not far from qualifying in other events in addition to shot put, which would be nothing new to her. She's done that at pretty much every nationals event of her young career. So just impressive to watch, and they're going to continue. They're right in the midst of their busy outdoor schedule, and I think they're headed to Grand Valley State this weekend in Michigan.
Let's not forget Maddie Doutlet. She got B standard in race walk. It's almost, to me, expected for her to qualify for
at this point
in race walking. And when I first started hosting this show, I didn't know much about race walking or really how competitive the athletes would be on track and field. But she's been a staple, qualifying B standard, maybe A standard, doesn't matter. She gets there, and she's another one that punched her ticket to the outdoor national meet.
Good call there, Jay. Yeah, she has been a staple, to be honest, and that's just the past 4 outdoor or indoor national championships she has qualified for. So just awesome job by Maddie Doutlet. She's been a mainstay at those events, and it's awesome to see her there, see what she can do this year at outdoor nationals. And as I said, haven't mentioned it yet this show, but you probably heard it in the past. That's just right down the road, about 40 minutes down the road to Indiana Westland. Hopefully we get Jay and Brady out there this year, and we'll see what we can do content-wise.
Speaking of getting out there and doing some big things, the tennis team has won 2 straight conference matches, one on the road at Brescia, one at home against IU East. And you're picking up conference wins at any point in the season, that's great, but especially right now as the season winds down, that's a great way to build confidence as a team.
Yeah, big way to build confidence heading into that postseason River States Conference Championship, typically held in Evansville. I'm sure it will be at the same place this year. But yeah, started off last week with a matchup against the toughest team in the RSC, an Oakland City squad that's receiving votes in the national poll, top 25 coaches poll. So that tells you they're one of the 40 best teams in the nation. Go down there and suffer a setback, 7-0 loss to them, but bounce back Saturday in a big way at Brescia. A little bit of a road trip to Southern Indiana and Kentucky. First, want to send our thoughts to Brescia. Their women's tennis coach actually passed away last week.
Oh man!
So big thoughts and prayers out to Brescia Athletics and the family of their former women's tennis coach. But the Cougars were victorious Saturday at Brescia, and that was a big win to get back on the right track. Second River States Conference win of the year after beating Shawnee State earlier. And then, earlier this week, I was on site in the Howard County Indoor Tennis Center as the Cougars battled our rival, the Red Wolves of IU East, and a massive win. This is an IU East squad that was finished second in the River States Conference Championship last year, Jay. And yes, they're down a bit roster-wise, but man, Cougars had an impressive win, 5-2 win. They've really been impressive to watch this year. Christine Miller's done her work in the offseason with this squad. A bit of a struggle in the fall, but they always play such a gauntlet of a fall schedule. And keep in mind that Crossroads Leagues and other leagues play their championship in the fall. So some teams are more primed in the fall, whereas we are a spring championship season. So this is more of our season, if you will. So yeah, big shout out to Christine Miller and Coach Andrea Saylor and what they're doing, but they're clicking on the right cylinders as well.
Normally in the spring, we don't talk about volleyball. That's a fall into the winter type of sport. But Heather Hayes has made another one. This one's actually on her coaching staff. It's a young lady that played for her when Sarah Morin was playing at IUK, playing volleyball. But now she's back at IUK, joining the coaching staff. Yeah,
back at IUK in a different capacity, and it's been awesome. Kind of a bit delayed, to be honest with you, in getting this release out. Sarah's been working with us since the middle of January, since spring since spring practice started, but she's got plenty of collegiate coaching experience under her belt at a higher level than IU Kokomo at the University of Indianapolis. So she played here 4 years under Coach Heather Hayes. Lori Elson is not going anywhere.
Okay.
She'll still be on staff. It'll be awesome to have them both, just a lot of knowledgeable volleyball minds around our young student athletes, and I hope they realize how just how awesome it is to have that level of talent and knowledge coaching you and being your mentor throughout some precious years of your life in your 19 to 22-year-old years. So really, really good hire, I believe. I think it'll really pan out. But as I mentioned, 2 years as a volunteer assistant, 2 years as a grad assistant at UND under their former head coach in Jason Reed, and he was solid. He just left the program this year, but as you saw in the article, if you haven't read it, check it out on either Facebook or Twitter. It's also linked on our Instagram story by iukcougars.com. It's a good article. You get to hear a quote from Heather Hayes, Director of Athletics and head volleyball coach. Also a quote from Sarah about how she feels about coming back into this. As she mentions in her quote, it's not every day that you get the chance to come back and coach at the place that gave so much to you where you were a student athlete. So I think she's really treasuring this opportunity, and I think our girls are going to learn how big of it's not an upgrade because we didn't lose anybody, you know what I mean? But she will bring a tremendous amount to our volleyball, tremendous amount of skill, and just plenty of other impressive areas. She's got experience with the academy in Indy, knows some good connections, coaches the 17-1s team in club volleyball there. So yeah, I'm anxious to see what all this team can accomplish already, and now you add another talented piece to the puzzle. It'll be awesome to watch.
Do we forget anything?
Not that I can remember, but I just want to reiterate this weekend, not too many home sporting events left this year. We do have the Celebration of Champions coming up in a few weeks in the middle of April. That is open to the public if you want. We're asking for a $10 donation, not required by any means. Just go back to help covering some costs to go put the event on. But yeah, that's an event where we honor all of our student athletes, bring them all in. We have about 20 different awards that we pass out. We as coaching staffs and administrators within the athletic department choose the nominees and finalists and winners there. It's just an awesome night to celebrate everything that IU Kokomo Athletics has accomplished and will continue to accomplish in that final month of the 2024-2025 seasons.
That's my guy, Grant Patterson. He's one of the 2 assistant ADs at IUK, and this has been the Cougar Cast. We'll see you next time.